Jungle yesterday or earlier today, I kind of lost track. I think it might have been this morning. Recently put out a video on whether or not market cap is really the end-all be-all of the calculation for a real valuation of XRP, and really if the entire supply of XRP should be counted, or even if the total supply that was around before even exists anymore. He really asked for some feedback and comments, and it kind of gave me a little motivation to make this video. Hey, this is Jeff with the HODL Report. Join me on today's video as we discuss the incorrect use of valuation as it's applied to XRP. Remember, if you enjoyed today's video, please remember to give a thumbs up, leave some comments below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, before I jump into talking about XRP, Jungle also brought up the JPM Coin, as I also did on my live stream yesterday, Saturday, and this really needs to be said. I've seen some other comments coming from different people on Twitter as well as comments on YouTube really knocking those who are saying anything pro or anything against, and it seems that there's this fear or trepidation of competition. And so number one, anytime there's competition, it's healthy. Competition is needed. Competition is actually validation that what you're doing actually has some value. And really, you should be proud of the fact that someone is trying to emulate what you've done. It doesn't mean that what they're doing and what they're putting together to emulate you is actually the right thing or the right way or a better solution, or it's in direct competition with you. But again, in my opinion, it's a positive for JPM, a bank, to acknowledge the need for blockchain, to acknowledge the need for a digital asset. Forget about the argument as to whether or not JPM itself can be considered a true digital asset on a blockchain or not. That's irrelevant. The point being is that JP Morgan has acknowledged the fact that blockchain is a functional and needed solution for cross-border payments to be utilized at the bank level. Now, the fact that they've added JPM as a supposed quote-unquote stable coin, that's a whole different conversation. But again, it also acknowledges the fact to the mainstream that this is an important technology, that this technology is here to stay, that the big banks are dabbling and trying to get involved in it as well. Again, whether or not they do it the right way. Now, JPM has the solution that they did create, as a final note on this, is really more of an internal solution that will move money between their own banks, between their own institution, and it's really a very limited solution. But again, it potentially solves their internal issues that they have, and that's a good thing. Now, it's not anywhere near the level of what a RippleNet solution is, as the JP Morgan solution, again, will still require party intermediary when transacting with other banks. Not every bank out there is going to want to use the JPM digital asset token to complete a payment transaction. So there's going to have to be a solution. So if, again, and I said this on my live stream, if Bank of America has their own internal source and JP Morgan has their JPM and BOA won't be able to transact with each other without the intermediary, which would be through the Ripple interledger protocols, and utilizing the Ripple solution is a good thing, and it's something that will be beneficial as an intermediary to work between banks. So we don't know which direction they're going to go, but at this point, it definitely looks like they will for sure be needing an intermediary. And again, that solution could be Ripple. That solution could be R3 utilizing Corda. We don't know, but again, that's something that we'll see as we move forward in development. Now, even more interesting to me than JP Morgan and their JPM was the recent acquisition of StellarX by CoinSquare. Now, CoinSquare is the leading Canadian cryptocurrency exchange. Now, here's a quote that appeared on cryptoglobe.com, and that was actually yesterday. The article appeared on the 16th. So this was titled StellarX That's not the title. So anyhow, the title here is Digital Asset Marketplace Stellar X acquired by leading Canadian exchange Coinsquare. That's the title. Stellar X's management team commenting on the acquisition deal. Now this is a direct quote from the article. Coinsquare is the perfect fit. They are already the leading Canadian cryptocurrency platform. They have a very close relationship with the regulators in the US, in Europe, and Canada. The Bank of Montreal is their banking partner. Now, somehow, Stellar has really maintained much of its progress under the radar. This acquisition puts Stellar into the mainstream. To all the XLM haters out there, I'm sure that we're going to continue to hear much more about XLM from Stellar, and especially regarding what's going on with Stellar X with this latest acquisition. Now, on to XRP. Now, if you go back and you watch Jungle's video, I tend to agree with Jungle's perspective. Using market cap to predict or analyze the potential valuation for XRP is really incorrect. It's not the right way of doing it. It may have its use as you want to compare the value of a company per the stock shares that are issued, but applying it to a digital asset doesn't really make much sense it information of value. So calculated value of all the circulated coins or tokens. What is that actually giving you? It's not really telling you anything other than putting it on a list with other digital assets. XRP is not a stock. It's not tied to the fundamentals of a company like a stock is. The value of the total circulated supply of XRP does not provide us the valuation to a company. That's point blank. That's it. That's the end of it. That's the end of that part of the story, really. XRP valuation has been purely based on the speculation of the potential utility of XRP through solutions like RippleNet XRapid. Now, this is true for many of the digital assets out there. They're all based purely on the speculation of what could happen with those digital assets. The only digital asset right now that is tied through actual real world use case is XRP, as it's being used in the XRapid solution, which is a humongous solution, and it's really a world-changing solution when it comes to global payment transactions and liquidity that's being implemented right now by Ripple through RippleNet. Now, XRP also has other utility, real-world use case utility solutions through Coil and XRP Tipbot and many more. Now, as more banks and institutions actually begin to adopt the use of XRP vis-a-vis XRapid, we're going to begin to see an increase in the demand on the available supply in the actual circulation or on the circulation, current circulation. The demand will actually have an impact on that readily available supply, and the price will move. Now, banks, institutions, and corporate utility will also dictate the price point. Now, that's based on the demand and the need for liquidity for the settlement of payment transactions. Now, this is all my opinion. It's based on my own observations. But again, what value does market cap of XRP really give us? There's no utility with this market cap. So does it really matter if XRP is listed as number 2, number 3, or even if it's number 1 on the coin market cap list? This is just a list of digital assets that are currently valued based purely on speculation. Now, once there's true utility and the pricing of XRP begins to move, at that point, we're going to begin to realize the true pricing potential of XRP. But right now, all we can do is continue to speculate what will happen based on future utility, based on the immense potential from the currently one great use case, which is, again, the global payment settlements. Now, this is exactly why JP Morgan is jumping into the game with JPM. They transact around $6 trillion per day in cross-border payments. They understand what Ripple is doing as it competes with the RippleNet solution against Swift. JP Morgan has a settlement solution where they're moving a significant amount of money, and they know that they're going to lose that game if they didn't have their own internal solution. But again, as I just mentioned, although they have an internal solution developed, that doesn't help them with the external interbank solution. But again, market cap has nothing to do with any of this. Bottom line is that no one out there can really make a prediction of what value XRP will reach based on market cap. That's based purely on circulation times the price. Now, applying a market cap to XRP is really like trying to apply a market cap to the total global payment transactions that currently take place on a daily basis and saying that that high of a number doesn't make any sense since there really isn't enough fiat currency in the world to support it. None of that, it doesn't make sense. And since XRP is going to be in use for actual real world utility, and it's going to be happening fast, it's going to be happening on a regular basis, and the need, and we're talking about trillions upon trillions of dollars that are transacted, there's inevitably going to be an increase in price point. But again, nobody really knows exactly where it is other than some of the statements that have come out directly from Ripple based on what their perception will be. And they haven't even targeted or mentioned specific price points, but there's been a lot of others that have done the math and made calculations and made speculative predictions on the price point. What we do know 100% for sure, if we look back to the full speculative FOMO market of the end of 2017, beginning of 2018, that XRP did reach $3.80, that Bitcoin did reach over $20,000. We know that that was what speculation could do with the market. We also know that we're in the infancy of the digital asset space, and all of these companies that are jumping in and pouring millions upon millions of dollars into this space in acquisitions, in build outs, they wouldn't be doing that if the digital asset space was going to keep decreasing in a bear market. That wouldn't make any sense. Everybody would just back out and they'd be hands off. We wouldn't see JP Morgan wanting to dip in and take advantage of this space. We wouldn't see the Canadian exchange that's partnered with a bank purchase StellarX. We wouldn't see Binance do all the things that they're doing. We see a lot of big company purchases that are going on right now in the space and outside the space to get into the space. And all of that money movement wouldn't happen if this space was going away and the price valuations were going down. We also wouldn't see the governments around the world. We wouldn't see Congress in the United States. We wouldn't see the state governments passing laws that have to do with digital asset exchange, with the use of digital asset, with the use of blockchain. We wouldn't see the need for this. Wyoming wouldn't be passing bills. Rep. Warren Davidson wouldn't be worried about the Token Taxonomy Act and making significant changes to the Securities Exchange Act. None of that would make any sense. So the only question that we really should be concerning ourselves with right now when it comes to XRP is utility, and utility through RippleNet, through their XRapid, through Coil, through XRP Tipbot, and really many other solutions that will be coming online soon enough through Spring. And we just saw that XRP Tipbot is getting some amazing solutions through Spring as well. So this space is just in its infancy. The space is blowing up right now. That's all I have to say for tonight. Glad you joined me on today's video. Again, this is Jeff with the HODL Report. Wednesday night, 8 p.m., another live stream. Following that, Saturday mornings, 8 a.m., live stream. Tune in to both. Looking forward to seeing you guys Wednesday evening. If I get another video out between now and then, I'll see you then. And until that time, keep on hodling your crypto.